You're supposed to feel joy. You're supposed to feel peace. You're supposed to feel rest. You're supposed to feel connected. You're supposed to feel loved. You're supposed to feel pleasure. Those are all part of our human experience. Welcome to the Mindset Mirror Connection podcast, the podcast where we debunk the eat less, move more, shrink more mentality and focus on what really matters, which includes your relationship with your body, food, self-worth, and the behaviors that align with all of those. I'm your host, Christina Hathaway, licensed therapist with specialized training in food and body obsession, certified personal trainer and nutrition coach. At the Mindset Mirror Connection podcast, we believe what you say in your mind, you see in the mirror. So let's have a conversation about that. Before we get into today's episode, I want to make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, if you don't want to miss any content that's being dropped, make sure you hit that notification bell as well. I also want to know who are the people you want to hear from on this show and what topics would you like me to continue to cover. Thank you so much for your continued support. Now, let's get into the episode. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Mindset Mirror Connection podcast. It is our 5th day of Christmas, 5th day of holiday. And today we are talking about joy to the world. First off, I hope that you're feeling a sense of joy, that you took this time out for yourself to learn something about your physical and mental health. That is this is your self-care. This is a wonderful thing. And today we're talking about joy, and not just like surface level joy, not just like slapping a smile on and pretending like everything is okay. I'm talking about like nervous system feels safe. I am actually allowing myself to experience happiness and I am not feeling bad for it type of joy. A lot of women struggle with this. They struggle with the scrutiny of letting themselves be in their happiness. It almost feels like it's wrong because they don't trust that experience. They don't trust letting go because of things we're going to talk about in this podcast. If you're someone who is sitting here and you're like, when is the last time I felt just joy in my life? I know, because it's not this morning. Well, yes, this morning when my little Liberty, my dogs make me feel so much joy. My little Liberty, she's learning how to walk on the leash, and as you see her trying and she's doing the things she's supposed to be doing, it brings me a lot of joy. When she's playing with her toys, it brings me a lot of joy. There's a childlikeness to dogs that I absolutely love, and it brings me a lot of joy, right? There's other things though too. You know, I've been in the middle of concerts or festivals and just been like, wow, this is my life. Like, what a wonderful thing. Or speaking to you guys, this right now makes me so happy because I get to share with you knowledge to help you be the best version of yourself. You know how fucking great that feels? And yes, could that be people pleasing? Sure. But no, I feel like this is a gift. This is why God put me on this earth. I get to share. For those of you who have like a strong faith in God, I get to share what basically the teachings of God are to individuals in a way that is easy to digest. Because let's face it, what I'm teaching you guys is you are enough. You are enough because you exist, right? And if you read the Bible, that is reiterated over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's where I feel joy. Have you felt joy? Or have you been surviving for so long in this hypervigilant, pessimistic, catastrophizing place? If it feels unsafe, if it feels unfamiliar or inconvenient, then turn the volume up. So, why does it feel so weird to feel happy for a lot of people? Well, for a lot of you, you don't give yourself time to feel happiness, but for majority of people, they actually don't feel happiness. For a lot of us, and I'm bringing this closer because I don't have my iPad today. So for those of you looking on YouTube, this is my phone. So I can't see it. For a lot of you, you have lived so long in hypervigilance, and I'm a hypervigilant girly. I have learned through trauma in my life to look for wrongdoing, to scan and constantly be stuck in scan mode. And for a good chunk of my life, all I saw was bad because I was looking for it, right? Now, I still have an aspect of this. This is something I still struggle with, especially when I'm walking my dog. It's just something that I am constantly scanning. And I know it's something I need to work on there. But as I told you earlier, I'm still able to experience the joy of her. The joy of the sky has been so beautiful. I'm going to get emotional. The sky has been so beautiful the past week. Pinks and blues and yellows. It looks like cotton candy sky. That's the way we explain it here in Phoenix. The sunrise has been so gorgeous. And like, I still have those aspects of joy, even though I have a little bit of hypervigilance. What hypervigilance is doing is always anticipating. It's anticipating disappointment. It's anticipating pain. It's anticipating demand of someone else. It's anticipating an emotional hit of yours. And hypervigilance says, well, if I can look for the problem before it gets to me, I can keep myself safe. And for me, I know where that comes from. You know, I had to constantly be scanning to see where my mom was, right? If she was in a good mood or a bad mood. Because sometimes when she was in a bad mood, that was a threat to my safety. And also, I had experienced someone threatening my life at a very early age. And then that happened a few more times. I know you guys are like, what the fuck? I didn't hang out with the wrong crowd. It just, these things happened. I did go to a high school. We did move to an area of town that was not as safe as other areas when we moved to Arizona. And so I was exposed to violence outside of my home. And so scanning, constantly trying to predict, am I safe? Still to this day, because I told you guys the vicarious trauma I experienced after that Route 91 shooting in Vegas. I always, I played in my head, like, how would we have gotten out of that? Because we were supposed to be there. I had a coach that was there, and she struggles with her own hypervigilance, is always scanning, like, where are the exits? How do I get out of here? Right. And this protective pattern was a way to stay alert as we were growing up, is a way to predict unpredictable environments. If we were constantly experiencing chronic stress, it helps to create a sense of like calmness in our nervous systems, even though it's a false sense of calmness. And when we are someone who's been in chronic stress environments, chaotic environments growing up, we learn that the good moments are short, right? They don't last. They're few and far in between. And we've adapted to being hypervigilant, aka responsible, right? Or strong, or the fixer. We've adapted to that because those types of behaviors helped us to survive. What we learn in those situations is that it doesn't feel good to be in our bodies. And any sense of feeling good, because we don't have experience with it, feels foreign. It feels, again, unsafe. And so instead of, okay, so say something happens and joy arrives, instead of like chilling in it and settling in it, your brain goes, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. What's the catch here? Y'all are like, oh shit, that's me. It's me. Hi, the problem, it's me. I know I sing that at least once a quarter. When's the other shoe gonna drop? Right? Don't relax. You don't know how this goes. What if when is everything going to fall apart? When is the bad thing going to happen? So in this time where you could just be so mindful and aware of the joy and the happiness that you feel, you are like, fuck that. You're not going to fool me, baby, with this joy bullshit. I'm going to figure out what's going on here. And we are going to, we're going to keep ourselves safe here, because this joy nonsense, no, that's not for me. Not for me. That is hypervigilance, baby. And it's not intuition, but it feels like it. And you've convinced yourself that it's intuition. But when the gut feeling is constantly there, is it intuition or is it trauma? I'm guessing it's the latter, right? On top of hypervigilance, what ends up happening is our brain, because remember, I talked about the reticular activation system, and our brain is constantly looking for what we're thinking about, right? So what ends up happening is we become very pessimistic. And pessimism can turn into a cognitive distortion called catastrophizing. So this is the sidekick, mental companion, bestie to hypervigilance. It's where our brain fills in the gaps. Okay. So our brain says, scan, 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 look, look, look. And also let's think about what could be the worst case scenario just so we are prepared for it. We can be ahead of things if we do that. So that's this concept of catastrophizing. And it sounds like, and I have some notes here, if I enjoy this, something bad will happen. The moment I relax, everything will fall apart. I shouldn't get too excited. This isn't going to last. It's safer not to hope. I was just talking to a client and she received an award from her work. And she said, just in her brain, she told me that she was aware, and that's a huge step forward, that she said, oh, just wait until they find out the real me, right? She was thinking, I can't even enjoy this award and this acknowledgement because just wait. They're going to find something wrong with me and all hell's going to break loose. That didn't happen. And we actually went through some of the concepts we're going to talk about today. So a lot of women think, I'm just super negative. Why am I so negative? I want you to have a little bit of compassion for yourself because pessimism and hypervigilance are proactive protectors. They help you manage your vulnerability so that you're not exposed. And if I'm not exposed, then I will not experience the pain. I won't experience the disappointment. The thing that I'm worried about won't have as hard of a punch on me. But it's protecting you from a belief that you have that you are not safe. Life is not safe. People are not safe. And that's a part of trauma, right? That's a part of trauma. I'm going to link an amazing podcast with Diary of a CEO and Bessel van der Kolk. Bessel van der Kolk, I think it's Coke, is the author of The Body Keeps the Score. And it's a wonderful, wonderful podcast on trauma from the expert of trauma. So for me to sit here and talk about trauma, I could do that. I consider myself an expert in that, but I'm an expert down here. He is the godfather of trauma. Go check that out. It will help you understand it. So if we're constantly living in this place, we are living in trauma. You, my dear, weren't supposed to live in trauma. You're not supposed to live in this constant anticipation of bad things happening. You are supposed to experience joy. Why the fuck do you think it's an emotion that every single person feels? Every single person feels it. You're supposed to feel joy. You're supposed to feel peace. You're supposed to feel rest. You're supposed to feel connected. You're supposed to feel loved. You're supposed to feel pleasure. Those are all part of our human experience. Why is that? For you to push it away? No. Joy isn't unsafe. Your nervous system is, okay? It's just not familiar with joy. So we are going to talk about how to create tolerance around your peace and pleasure. So your system should never, again, we're not going to force you to feel joy. Like I had already said, this is a natural experience if we allow ourselves to experience it. We need to reintroduce joy into our lives gradually, right? We need to do it with compassion, of course, and do it consistently. It's like being at the gym. If you load 200 pounds on the bar the first day you're back, you're probably, if you don't have the tolerance of lifting 200 pounds, you're probably going to hurt yourself, right? Joy works in that same way. If we try to experience something that we have no experience with or tolerance for, it is going to feel foreign and uncomfortable. And as we've already talked about, if you're the girly who is like, when is this going to end? When's the other shoe going to drop? You know, I just can't imagine that they would even think this about me. Like whatever it is that you're saying in experiences where you could just simply say, this is great. I love this feeling. I feel so proud of myself. Oh, this is so peaceful. This is so wonderful. Look how beautiful the sky is. If we're saying those other things, our system doesn't have tolerance for joy. So I'm going to read my notes. Signs your nervous system is expanding its tolerance for joy would look like this. You stop rushing through good moments. Ladies, I have women who have accomplished the most amazing things in their lives, and they're just like, okay, what's next? What if we just let ourselves have the good moment? I should bring her on. I have a client who's a OBGYN, and I've talked about her before because we've worked from residency into career into studying for her boards. And she struggled with her board exam. And this past October, we found out she passed. And we had a conversation after that. And when you pass your written boards, you then go into an oral board where you have to, orally argue whatever it is they're talking about. And she said something so brilliant. And this is a test to the work that we've done. She said, I am not going to put any expectations on myself this year. We will wait to do the oral dictation or whatever it's called next year. I'm just going to allow myself to be happy that I have passed the written exam and then the funny thing is she sent me a vision board that we had created 2 years ago and every single thing she had accomplished. For the first time in working together, she is allowing herself to sit in the good moments. It's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. She's so fucking happy. It's amazing. You're a woman who makes it all happen. The deadlines, the deals, the demands. You're disciplined, capable, and results driven. But lately, it's taking a lot more effort to feel like yourself. You're still achieving. You're not thriving. And deep down, success shouldn't cost your energy, your focus, or your peace. You don't need another plan. You need a strategy that matches your ambition. You've built a life around achievement, but no one ever taught you how to sustain it. Most high-performing women are operating with fractured systems. Great work ethic, but poor recovery. A strong body, but an overwhelmed mind. A plan for success, but not for longevity. You don't need more hustle. You need alignment. Your nervous system, nutrition, and training working with you, not against you. Hi, I'm Christina Hathaway, founder and CEO of The Mindset That Matter, a company built to help ambitious women master high performance from the inside out. I have a master's degree in marriage and family therapy with specialized training in food and body obsession, certified personal trainer and nutrition coach who spent over 15 years helping women reprogram their relationship with achievement, food, and their body that they lead from. I integrate clinical psychology, behavioral science, and performance physiology to create what most programs miss: a complete strategy for mental clarity, physical resilience, and sustainable success. This isn't just life coaching. This is human performance training for elite women, where therapy meets science and strategy meets embodiment. This Black Friday, I'm opening a limited time opportunity to work with me directly, offering $775 off our 6 months one-to-one mentorship. This is a personalized, high-touch transformation program where therapy meets training and nutrition. We'll rebuild your energy, your metabolism, and your mindset so you can lead with clarity, confidence, and strength that lasts. Or also $775 off our 6-month group mentorship with Coach Liv, with my direct oversight and involvement in monthly calls. Same science-backed framework delivered in a community for women who want accountability, precision, and power alongside other overachievers. There are no strict meal plans. There's no hustle culture. There is no one-size-fits-all routines. You'll get an evidence-based system that blends therapeutic insight to regulate your nervous system and rewire your relationship with yourself, nutrition strategy to fuel your focus, stabilize your energy, and restore metabolic health, performance training that builds strength, stamina, and resilience without sacrificing your recovery. Because structure isn't the enemy, misalignment is. When your body and mind are optimized, you don't just get results, you keep them. This is the blueprint for you to become unstoppable. This Black Friday offer is open for a limited time only. When it closes, it closes. No extensions, no exceptions. If you're ready to stop settling for functioning and start operating at your full potential, this is your power move. Because wellness isn't self-care, it's a performance strategy. And the women who understand that, they don't just succeed, they lead this standard. The Mindset That Matter, where therapy meets physiology, where high-achieving women come to lead stronger, think clearer, and live with unmatched power. Coming back to my list. Signs your nervous system is expanding its tolerance. You don't feel the need to distract from your peace. We talk about this all the time. Rest, feels uncomfortable. You feel guilty. There's no need to distract from your peace. I know this now because of I'm still grieving, right? But there are these moments of peace. And when I first started grieving, I talked about this in the grief episode, I felt bad about that, but I realize it's just my body saying like, okay, we've felt enough now. Like it's okay to feel some peace now. There is an aspect to it too, which is a bit protective, that your body doesn't want to feel negatively all the time, especially with grief because it's so overwhelming. So we can allow ourselves to feel that peace and that comfort. You can enjoy something without feeling guilty. And I have a client who says, well, it's just not, if I do something outside of what she decides is productive, she thinks she's not being productive. If she goes to a movie or she's out with friends or does something outside of her rigid rules, which are around diet and her food intake and exercise and walking, she thinks it's unproductive, right? And she feels very guilty. When life is about enjoyment and enjoying those moments and saying, I am allowed to do this, actually allowing myself to sit and enjoy things, right? I'm not working. I mean, coming back to like faith, God took a freaking day off, right? He was building, he built this, right? And took a day off. Don't forget that. If the man can do it, and when I say God, I believe in God. If you believe in Buddha, if you believe in Jehovah, whomever you believe in, I am not here to tell you what to believe in. But I do want you to believe in something bigger than yourself because, I didn't make the sunrise, right? Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, took a break, took a day off. Right? I don't know what he did, but I'm sure he enjoyed it. Or she. Okay, coming back to my list. You let pleasure land without earning it. I talked about this in patterns of the past. We have to punish ourselves into earning something. Or we can just say, I can enjoy this moment. Because as someone grieving, like I also can be sad in any moment. And that's okay too, right? I can be happy in any moment. And that is also okay. I don't have to earn my joy. You don't have to earn your joy. You are allowed to experience it. You are allowed to experience it in anything. Find it. Find your joy. Look at the sky when it's beautiful and sit with it. Drink your coffee. Take 5 minutes. Just like, wow, that's so beautiful. Or watch your dog play with their ball and be like, wow, just look at how happy they are. That makes me so happy. Or sit with your loved ones and hold their hand or watch something funny together and enjoy it. You don't have to earn any of that. You're allowed to experience joy. So that is your permission. And last one is, we don't brace for disaster when something goes well. You do not have to brace that something wrong will happen. Because as I've taught you guys many, many times, when we decide that, our brains will be more aware of that, and it will only show us evidence to support something is going to go wrong. Whether it does or it doesn't, your brain is convinced that it will. You can have things go well and decide that's going to continue for you. I tell you guys all the time, one of my favorite affirmations is only good things happen to me. It happened for me. And I say it over and over again, especially when my brain wants to go into, but what ifs? Right? What if this happens? What if that happens? Only good things happen for me. And it's true. Every time that happens, something good happens. Because why? Because I've told my brain to pay attention to what? The good things happening for me rather than bracing for the bad. So that's how we know if we're building tolerance. So let's talk about how do we do that? How do we build tolerance? Well, the first thing, if you haven't figured it out already, is we just need to slow down these moments. Joy is often missed, like I said, because we rush. We rush through things. We've accomplished the thing. Yay. What's next? I'm so happy that I took, 4 years between undergrad and graduate school. I took off. I moved to California. I had fun. I worked in jobs to see what I kind of liked compared to my colleagues who went from undergrad to graduate school, right? They didn't really have real world experience. A lot of them, they didn't even have jobs prior to going into college because their parents paid for things. I just feel like I had a bit of an advantage to them. And just allowing myself to say, hey, it's time to take a break. I went through college. I want to enjoy. And I did that. But Joy is often missed, as I said, because it's often rushed. What I want to invite you to do is pause. As I've already said, take that moment back. Take a breath, let the thing land. Maybe that's just the first step. Like, oh, that's joy. Look at that. Yay me. I experienced joy. Notice what's happening in your body. Just notice it. Say, I haven't felt that in a while, right? And don't be like, okay, I felt it. Okay, now move on. No, just allow it to be. Don't rush past it. Just stay with it for a few seconds. Slowing down is the antidote to hypervigilance. Okay? Slow it down, experience it, enjoy it. Enjoy. E-N. But if we switch that to I-N, in your joy, enjoy it. Name it. Once we take that moment, we experience it, we name it. Naming an emotion helps the brain recognize and accept it. I've already given this example. There's the joy. What about this moment feels good to me, right? Where do I feel it? Do you get the butterflies? Do you get chills up your spine? Because for someone who doesn't have experience with joy, we have to understand the somatic aspect of it too. Because sometimes that's the easiest way to understand what's going on in our bodies is, oh, I've got the butterflies, or I've got the chills. I'm so silly. When I'm really happy, I get tears in my eyes. And it just is it's like a very spiritual experience for me. I'm like, wow, this is my life. And it's fucking awesome. I can get teary-eyed. I literally got teary-eyed. I get teary-eyed when they sing the national anthem. I just think it's so beautiful. So I'm just a big baby, but a joyful baby, happy baby pose. We love it. Again, name it. Where is it happening in your body? What does it feel like in your body? Number 3 is normalize the discomfort you're going to feel. You don't really have experience with being joyful or allowing that to come out. For some of you, it feels too vulnerable, right? It's too vulnerable to be here. I don't want to do that. Accept that that's going to happen. It makes sense that it feels strange to me. This is a new experience for me, or experience I haven't felt since I was a kid. Joy has felt unsafe in the past, but I don't live in that stress anymore. One thing that I did recently was a couples intensive where we worked on our parts. So it was an IFS, which is a theory that I work on with my clients, and my husband and I did it. And when this part of me, this little girl in me wanted to, I'm trying to remember the part we were working on, but we're working on the protective part, the hypervigilant part, the hyper independent part. Once I unburdened that part, all she was doing was playing. It was so cool. This little curly hair girly, which is me, was playing in my backyard with my dogs, including my Brooklyn, who passed. And there's just running around playing and was laughing, and she was so happy. And I got to connect to that part. And the interesting thing was Mark and I were standing watching her, kind of holding as if she was like our little girl. And the parts work that we did, I was able to say, I'm going to protect you. You're safe. I am here. I will protect you. And it was so fucking beautiful. And so I just wanted to bring that up because there is a sense of experiencing your younger self before she was hurt and remembering who she is and knowing that you can reconnect with her. So I wasn't going to talk about that. Wasn't in my notes, but there you go. Number 4, we're going to microdose some joy. What song lifts you up? What songs lift me up? Blank Space by Taylor Swift. I actually have a whole playlist called Feel Good Music, and I have the most random music on there. I've got Wild Wild West. She's so mean. I don't care. I love her eyes and her wild, wild hair. If you guys are I have no idea what song that is. Culture Club, I think, sings it. I have Kendrick Lamar on there. I have country songs on there. I absolutely love my playlist. But small doses, maybe one song. Maybe we start with one song. Maybe we drink our favorite warm drink, right? Maybe we go out in the sun and experience just the sunshine, or have a small little laugh about something. So this is where social media can be great. I watch these dogs. It's an AI of these two dogs as if they're podcast hosts, and they say the funniest shit. It's so funny. You can find so much comedy on social media. I love it. Another way to experience joy is like kind of allowing your body to just take this like deep breath of like energy in, right? Just fill it up and then let it out, especially when we've maybe just like finished something we're proud of. Like, I did that, deep breath in, let it out. I did that. I'm proud of that. Allow the joy to accumulate over time until it starts to feel safe. And then some somatic things you can do is to soften your body, right? Because we get so stiff. I told you guys I kind of sit with my trap muscles constantly in this like tightened position. That's why I have so many damn knots in my back. Drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, loosen your belly, exhale fully. A lot of women hold on to pressure in their pelvic floor because they're constantly bracing for whatever they think is going to happen. We need to just let it go. Another thing that I think is important is to also acknowledge other people's joy so that you can experience it. Like, wow, you just look so peaceful right now. Or like, you seem a lot happier. That's so wonderful. And don't allow them to, but if not, just sit with it, right? You just seem so much more excited or happy. That's wonderful. I just wanted to let you know that I noticed that about you. What a great feeling. Acknowledge it in other people. And one of my favorite ones, I know there's a bunch on here, so I'm going to do this last one, is invite playfulness. Like I said, that little part of you, that young part of you, it wants to come out. Gentle movement, silliness, creativity, dancing, talking in a funny voice, color books, crafting, playing even like pickleball, right? Whatever it is. Be a bit playful, a bit silly. I love playing catch with my dog. I just think it's so fun because she catches, like I throw it up and she catches the ball in her mouth. I think it's so fun. I love to dance. I love to move my body. There's a lot of ways to introduce joy back into your life. And I've already talked about this, so I think it's important to note when I say only good things will happen to me, I'm interrupting the catastrophic cycle. So I didn't really name that as a tool, but like nothing needs to be fixed right now. This moment is safe right now. I don't have to ruin the good to protect myself. I deserve good things. Good things happen for me. I can accept good things happening for me, whatever that looks like. So many ways to experience joy. We do not have to reject joy into our life just because we are not as familiar with it this holiday season. Holidays are joy to the world, right? We should be able to go through this season and see the smile on people's faces when they see you for the first time in maybe a year, right? To see the smile on your children's faces when they open up their gifts, to be on work break with your spouse and just enjoying the time together. This holiday season, I want you to slow down. I want you to notice it. I want you to sit with it. I want you to soften with it. And I want you to trust it. It will make the biggest difference for you. Take those micro moments, those micro doses of joy, and receive it. That is my holiday wish for you. And I hope that this podcast influences you to experience a bit more joy in your life because you fucking deserve it. Guess what? If you experience anger, you also get to experience joy, because you would not know that it's anger if you didn't know what joy was, or peace. Can't experience one without the other. So amazing. I hope that this resonates with everyone, and I want you to DM me or comment me and say, hey, I did what you said. I lit this beautiful candle that I absolutely love the smell, and I just sat and watched the candle flicker. There's so many ways that you can do it. So read the freaking, do they still have comics and newspapers? Do people still get newspapers? Read the comics. Do the crossword puzzle, whatever it is. You know what brings me a lot of joy is saying hi to people. It brings me a lot of joy to notice others, especially those who are maybe not in a great spot. I want them to know I see them, and just connecting, making eye contact, like, good morning, right? Good morning. That's it. God bless you, right? Whatever it is. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. If you do enjoy it and you want a little bit of more of it, check out the show notes for our Clarity Call link. I know we're heading towards, January 1, where everyone wants to change things about themselves. And this program is so comprehensive in regards to how we help clients experience that. Our whole goal is for clients to experience more joy in their life, to have more positivity, to not constantly be living in the state of hypervigilance around their weight, around their food, around their exercise, around their lives, around their worth. So if you're interested in actually doing really, really, really deep work, check out the show notes for that Clarity Call link. But other than that, I'm going to leave you with this. If you didn't understand that your experience with self is the way to joy, maybe you'll understand this, that what you say in your mind, you will see in the mirror. Goodbye.